baby.
We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause we been.
Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here, yeah, we in here,
Black versus the Board of Education.
'cause we came here, rid of us now. We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause we came here, rid of us now. And you know that we go, and we go, so you do what you been here.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Happy Tuesday, and welcome to a special edition of Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen, and I am the captain of the ship. And as usual, we like to let you know who's in the building before we start any discussion. We're going to run through that really quickly, and then we're going to get the chief on the line because I am told he is playing hooky, and he is in LA. And so we're going to make sure that we hurry up because he has to board the plane, and I'm not going to give him too much mess. Pull up my girls, please. And we're going to start with the ladies. Hey, ladies. Let's go ahead and start with Miss Anaya. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll pass it to Melissa.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Anaya, and I'm a sophomore at Howard University.
Woo, woo. They told me that was the real HU. No?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Miss Melissa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I am a freshman at UC Berkeley.
You know what? I'm not laughing at you. Anyway, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Adrian.
And over here is
Mr. Fox.
And right here is
Isaiah.
And Isaiah's in the building. And not only is Isaiah in the building, my favorite chief that happens to be the lead of Elk Grove Police Department out here in Elk Grove, California. I call him Santa Chief. I also call him Chiefy Boo. Go ahead, Chief. Introduce yourself because I got a whole bunch of nicknames for you. I don't hear you. Are you on mute? See, we got it. Oh no. Why we don't hear the chief? Didn't we go through this already? Tevin said, hold on. Melissa, how's everything going? We're going to try to get the thing straightened out.
Everything's going pretty good. I'm very tired, and we have Berkeley has the big game this weekend. We're playing against Stanford. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. The big game. Okay, and it's already cold and stuff. And Chief,
it's freezing.
Chief, can we hear you yet? No? Chief, do me a favor. Log out and come right back in, and let's see if we can't get that audio straightened out. I heard him during the warm-up to today, and so we're going to wait for him to pop in. And how are things going over there in D.C., especially after the election?
Oh, after the election, it's honestly been kind of quiet.
The calm
It's
before
been
the
okay
storm.
over. Exactly. But with me, I'm excited because I come home next week and I stay until January. So looking forward to that.
Wait a minute. You don't go back for Christmas? Like the time, the finals leading up to the Christmas break?
Well, there are finals after like Thanksgiving break, but mine are just before that, thankfully. So I'm not flying back and forth.
My goodness. Well, welcome home. Like I better see you when you come back. Let's try to see if the Chief's audio is straight. Because this conversation is very important because I don't think that it's one of those things where a lot of nonprofits, especially Black nonprofits, and their ability to kind of build relationships with their police department. Chief, can we hear you yet? Good night. You said it has to be him? What did you do different? Because we could hear you earlier. I mean, I like the suit, though. The suit is nice. Nah, he's touching stuff. Do you have some headphones or something? Well, we can try to reach your lips, but I don't think this is gonna work. My goodness. I don't know what to do, you guys. So this Saturday, we are actually partnering with the Elk Grove Police Department to facilitate our second annual Love Thy Neighbor Turkey Giveaway. And this collaboration came about last year because we were trying to figure out how we could jointly impact the community. And this is something that we settled on. And so I'm super excited that we have our RSVPs open right now, and we want to bless as many families as we can. I'm trying to figure out if I should let you call me so we can at least hear your voice, because I'm not sure what's popping right now. Oh, you got an admirer. She's a very nice suit, Chief. All right. Yeah, I like it. So while we're trying to sort that out, you guys, there have been a couple of stories. I just wanted to get your take on this. This one came through today. It is former Maryland school teacher Melissa Curtis, 32, has been sentenced to 30 years in prison after she was convicted of having sex with a 14-year-old boy more than 20 times while he was in 8th grade. And I saw this story, and it seems to be a thing that's happening around this country, particularly with younger female staff getting involved with these youngsters. A lot of times it was seen as something that was like a badge of honor for these kids. What do you say about that? 32 years old, sentenced to 30 years in prison. Is that enough or not enough, Adrian?
I don't know whether to say it's enough or not enough. I don't know the usual time one would give. I think 30 years she'll learn a lesson in that. But I think, like you said, it was seen as a badge of honor before.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't taken as serious by the majority, just because people assume that young boys would want to do that, or would want that older attention from females.
Okay. Anaya, 30 years in prison for consistently having sex with a 14-year-old boy, 32-year-old female. What say you?
I would have to agree with Adrian. I don't know like the time on that. I think it's very disturbing.
What do you mean the time on that?
Like the time, like how much time she deserves to spend in jail. I don't know what.
Was 30 years enough?
Is it enough to make her learn her lesson? I don't. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think it's very disturbing though. Just weird. Very, very, very weird.
Very weird indeed. Fox, what do you say?
I say I say 30 years is not enough.
You say 30 years is not enough. Okay. And I'm pulling Chief up on my phone, and I want you to tell me why, but I want to make sure that we can hear him. Can you go ahead and say something on your phone, sir?
Hi, Miss Laureen. I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. I'm going to come to you next. Okay. Go ahead, Fox.
I say 30 years is not enough.
And tell me why.
The lasting scars of child molestation last longer than most crimes.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of time that I've done, there are a lot of people that I've met while incarcerated. Not to condone their crimes. I'm not condoning their crimes. I'm not advocating for them. But what I am saying is there's a connection between the things that happen in their life and what went wrong. And for a lot of them, it comes from domestic violence, child molestation, the things. Those type of people who get victimized in such areas go on to victimize other people, whether it be via child molestation, or they become having social problems. They don't know what to actually do with their own body, or they become very aggressive sexually, hitting females, spitting on females, and things of such nature. When they having sex, they see no reason of why not to. Become very degrading of females, and those scars they last for a long time.
Okay.
So is 30 years enough for somebody to learn their lesson? One day is enough for somebody to learn a lesson if a lesson is really intentional of somebody learning it. But when you're talking about sexual deviation, you're talking about a psychological problem. You're talking about something that goes very mental with somebody. You're talking about somebody's sexual perversions and what they naturally like and what actually turns their body on. So this person is not like you telling them, stop stealing a piece of candy. this person lays in a bed at night and fantasizes about this level of nasty sexual nature.
Mm.
And in my experience of being incarcerated, the type of men I seen come through there with that, and I know they say men and female are different, but they child molesters seem to always reoffend. And the person that's scarred from it, like I said, their scar lasts longer than most other victims. If you get your car stolen, you're gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad. I'll be mad my car got stolen, for real. But I'm eventually get another car, and it's gonna be cool, and it'll be something I can laugh about later. Nobody that gets child molested can say, hey, I remember I was in the bed, man, and this person came in there, and it doesn't happen that way.
Hold your thought. Melissa, and I'm gonna come to you, Chief, I promise. Melissa, your thoughts on that, and we'll go to Isaiah, and then we'll bring Chief into the conversation because I didn't want to leave you two out.
Yeah, Fox said exactly what I was gonna say. I don't think 30 years is enough. Just like, even if someone can learn their lesson, like he said, in a day, if that is something that it has to be a two-way street. You can't just you can put someone in jail for however long, and if that is the person that they are deep down inside, that might not change them. So I don't think that 30 years is enough, just based on the scars that child is going to have. It takes a really sick person to do something like that. And I don't know if 30 years is enough, but then it's like, I don't really know how much time would be enough.
Gotcha. Isaiah?
I'd say that 30 years, like what Fox was saying, it depends on, is it really going to be enough for them to understand that what they did was wrong? And do they actually feel like they need to, condone from what they've done?
Atone or condone?
Atone.
No, it's good.
Yeah. And also, I kind of wanted, you mentioned also something like a badge of honor or something like that.
Yeah. Sometimes people look at young boys and they think that makes them cool, right? To have sexual relations with an older woman, right? Or a teacher or someone who's supposed to be forbidden to them.
Right. And it's like, I've seen multiple headlines on various media sites, and it's like, hey, this is what happened, similar like what happened there, and it's just seeing comments and the replies saying, oh, this kid got lucky and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
you're a victim. That's a victim, and you're literally ignoring the fact that this child literally,
operative word being child, been
taken advantage of, and they just don't get it.
And I want to bring in the law enforcement perspective. And Chief, I want you to introduce yourself. We're going to have your voice. I don't think that the other stuff is working, but if you could just kind of tell us, introduce yourself, and then kind of tell us your take on this story, and then we'll get into our collaboration and all that stuff. I was just trying to fill in the time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we have you.
So first, Miss Lorraine and the panelists, I am so sorry. My schedule is kind of hectic. I thought I was going to be back in town today, all day today, and I ended up in Southern California at a graduation for one of our employees. And it's important for me not to miss what our people are doing, but it's also equally as important for me not to miss what you're doing, because the work that you guys are doing is precious to me and our community. So I will make this up in an in-studio event with you guys, and I just ask for your forgiveness. So first, my name is Bobby Davis. I have the privilege to work in law enforcement, work for the city of Elk Grove as the Elk Grove Chief of Police. I spent 24 years plus in Sacramento County from a deputy sheriff from custody all the way up to a captain at the sheriff's office before I came to the city of Elk Grove, and I will have been here 5 years in March. And I have, almost 30 years of experience in law enforcement, and I have seen and had to participate in quite a few things, which has, changed the course of my life and what I do and how I serve. And so Miss Laureen and I had a chance to meet her it's been about 18 months, I guess now. And she has been impactful in who I am and what we do here in this city and how we try to proceed. And we've been able to work together. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But specifically to this specific conversation, and I don't know exactly what the timeline is, Miss Laureen, can you tell me how much time this person got for whatever they did?
A 32-year-old female teacher was sentenced to 30 years in prison for having a consistent sexual relationship with a 14-year-old boy.
So, I think that from my perspective, looking at this, I don't know that any amount of time will satisfy the family of the victim. I think that we all want to put what we believe would be how we feel as a timeline for a justification of incarceration regarding this act. Again, I think that just, speaking as a law enforcement professional, I don't know that there is any crime in my mind that goes against a child who doesn't have the capacity to say no at 14 to someone who is supposed to be an authority figure. I don't think there's any justification or a timeline that is justified for the punishment that should be deserved or that person deserves for doing that to a child. Again, the victim's family probably sees any length of time is not going to be enough. And before we pass judgment on what we think should be, I think we do have to pay deference to that family. The other side of that is this: I don't know how someone in a position of authority would think that it would be okay to victimize a child, and 14 is a child. They have an expectation that they're looking at an authority figure who is going to protect, guide, mentor, deliver them from a place of violence and or fear and keep them safe. This didn't happen in this particular case. So for me, I have zero tolerance for any adult who abuses, assaults, harms, injures, damages the lifestyle or memory or mind, or even kills children. I have zero tolerance for it. So for me, in particular, 30 years is not enough because that person, if they get out, will likely practice that same behavior. If they believe that manipulating the child was okay at this age, why would they not believe that it's okay to be in a position of power when they're older? That's just my take on it.
Well, and I appreciate that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with some of these women that are in our school systems where they look at child and be like, "Oh, I need some of that." Like, I don't understand. That's just not my thing. But I wanted to quickly go because you said in your introduction that the partnership, or you met me 18 months ago. Now, could you tell the people in the back? Because I heard that you all were scared to talk to me because you had seen footage of me at the school board.
Hey, everybody in that room knows, don't get on the bad side of Miss Lorraine. So it's not like I'm saying something new. The fact is, right, is that, we have an obligation in our profession to be the best that we can be. And we've only, I would say we've made such significant strides in the last several years by having partnerships with people like you, Miss Lorraine. That's the truth. And the fact is that if I get into a relationship with you and I let you down, I'm going to be terrified. And so for me, it was, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. And I want to be my best. And our organization needs to be its best for our community, for our kids, and for your expectations. And for me, and you know me now, you know how I am. I wanted to make sure that I came into our relationship with the same abilities that you have, and that is protecting our children to the extent that I absolutely can. Meaning that there is no turning back when it comes to ensuring that our children have every right and every resource available for them to find success, because the Black and brown children in all of our communities have not had that opportunity. And we now are in a position with you and other advocates and us and law enforcement to say we can make things better for all children, but especially our Black and brown children.
And I appreciate that. We're specific about our Black kids over here, and the work that we do to ensure that they are handled with care, compassion, and concern. I was talking to some folks earlier today, and I talked about coming into Elk Grove Unified School District, which is #1 in the state for disproportionate discipline of Black children, and sitting in those seats. Now, a lot of times people saw me at the school board meetings and they would describe me as someone who was mean, who was aggressive, who was the angry Black woman. And then on the flip side of that, I'm also the person who would come into those rooms and would lock arms with different people, whether it was the sheriff department, the different directors from the different areas of service in the school district, and sit and co-write policy. So can you talk to us quickly about the personality traits that are needed to forge certain relationships and to make sure that our children remain successful and safe all at the same time?
Well, I think what you just described was someone who expects accountability with all of our public services, whether it's our kids or anything. But specifically with you, it's our kids and the kids that are in our schools. And, you know, as a public servant, as someone who serves our community, the expectation is that I will be held accountable. And I think what you are just describing is building a relationship where we can be accountable to each other and to our families and to our kids. And it's not personal. You know, I think that we have an obligation to look inward and be humble enough to say, man, I really didn't get that done the way I should have. How can I not just be better, but who in the community can help me be better? And who can I go to who will provide that service, will be critical of what we do, yet stand with me when we need to be different and when we need to make a change, and when we all should stand up and say, for our children, we will be better. That's what I think, or what I believe is what you do in our community and what you've done with us in your approach to handling concerns, compassion, and care, and quite honestly, in some cases, some disciplinary issues that happen with some of the kids in our community.
Gotcha. And I'm going to throw it to Melissa. Do you have a question for the chief since we have him on his layover in LA? Can you have a question you want to ask him?
Yeah, I do have a question. What do you believe, since, you know, we're a Black Youth Leadership Project and are specializing in education, what do you believe are some challenges that Black youth face in navigating their relationship with both the education system and with law enforcement?
Melissa is asking because he can't hear you because he's on the phone and
Okay.
he's not part of our, he doesn't have headphones on.
Mhm.
Melissa is asking you, how do you think that young people can navigate their relationship between the school system and law enforcement? Does that sum it up, Melissa?
Yeah, that sums it up.
Well, first I will say that we have become much better in our abilities to communicate with kids. You know, we make an effort now to have a different approach, and for this Elk Grove Police Department specifically, not just our school resource officers, but our youth services officers. Enforcement is typically the second approach, meaning that our first approach is building relationships and having or being in a position where kids can come to us without the fear of there being some sort of a criminal repercussion in that relationship. And that in and of itself is a start. However, we understand that there have been there's history with, you know, law enforcement and kids in our schools or kids in disparate communities. And so for us, it's being able to sit down, get at that level where the kids feel comfortable with us and that they can say or do what they need to do and be open and honest with us without feeling there's going to be a repercussion for that. So for us on our side, it is getting down at our kids' level so that they understand who we are, what we are. And our first goal or desire is to achieve their safety, achieve the needs that they need to be successful and find a safe place with us. The other side of that is being consistent so that the kids actually see and feel that genuine approach from us. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what I would argue that we're trying to do regionally in Sacramento County, but specifically with the Elk Grove Police Department. That is our goal, to make sure that we can meet our kids at their level, regardless if it's a day that is excellent or a day that is hard or difficult for them. It's being there for them in that moment.
Adrian.
What issues were you seeing growing up that led you to push into the police department?
So for me, growing up, I grew up in Carmichael and Orangeville, of all places, in Sacramento County. And, you know, my dad was in law enforcement. And I wanted to be a school teacher, and I thought that I would be a school teacher. But I had an opportunity to attend the meet somebody from the sheriff's office, a man named Mark Kinnison, and several others, but Mark Kinnison specifically. And after talking with him, he provided me an application, and Mark is an African American in Sacramento County.
Chief.
Black.
Chief.
Well, I don't want to call Mark something he's not, so you know how I feel.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say Mark is, so I don't want to disrespect him because he's him and my father are some of the reasons that I'm doing this job now. But if I was talking about myself, Miss Laureen and I, you'd call ourselves Black Americans. But Mark, is a person that I had an opportunity to come up in the sheriff's department with. He actually was working for my dad, or with my dad at the time. He was on the task force, and so I had an opportunity really to talk to him. And he provided this application to me, and I submitted it, and I was able to get into the Sheriff's Academy. For me, growing up in this business, I saw the significant changes as I got older. When I was a young officer, my approach to community was completely about enforcement, and trying to make sure the bad people weren't on the streets, not recognizing that sometimes in our efforts to take people into custody, there was collateral damage with families. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is that if we have to take someone into custody for something that has been done, that doesn't mean we just go in and leave that community. We spend the time now to talk with and explain what happened and why we had to come there. And we try to do our best to not leave that neighborhood or that family damaged. We try to do our best in sharing or communicating exactly what happens, what the next steps are, and providing a resource to those families. And when I was young in my career, I didn't think of those things in those terms. And some of that changed when I had children. I realized that I can't just go in somewhere, take somebody out of their home without trying to explain what it is that we were doing there or why we were there. Because if you want to repair a relationship after you've made cuts in a relationship, you have to wrap yourself back around those people and say that if you can make a difference or change how they feel, you have to pour into that.
Miss Anaya, and we're probably going to have to translate for him. So do you have a question that you want to ask the chief?
I do. So I'll keep it short. What practices have you and the department put in to ensure that you're making those genuine connections with the Black youth in the community?
What? She said, what policies or procedures have you put into place to make sure you are able to connect with the Black youth in the community?
So, I would say for the city of Elk Grove and the Elk Grove Police Department, we have significant DE&I program, diversity, equity, inclusion programs, not just in our police department, but in our city. It's a requirement in our city that we participate or that we try to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes in everything that we do. For us at the city, it is ensuring that our people have an opportunity to share in different experiences with not just the DE&I approach, but through classes where we try to understand different biases and not have biases, or learn from other people who have experienced those biases. It's part of our training every single year. At some level or another, we actually have to do specific training associated with bias in our community and within ourselves. And that's part of what we do. It's not even something that we have to implement. It is a requirement for us to participate in those particular type of programs in the city of Elk Grove. That is one thing that we've done. The other thing that we've done is we spend, as a management team, a lot of time talking to the officers that we have, the young people that are in our academies, and as they come into our organization. And I will tell you that I am very proud of the people that I work with at the Elk Grove Police Department, because we have a very diverse in thought and in mind group of people. We also have a very diverse organization, but moreover, our belief in what we're supposed to do in the city of Elk Grove and law enforcement is ensure that no matter what you look like, you will be treated fairly. And on top of that, if not, there are consequences associated with that. And then for us, it's holding each other accountable. It's ensuring that no matter what you look like, you're going to be treated fairly. And so for me, that is something that is important to me. It's something that is not an option when you're in serving our community. It doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. You should be treated fairly. And if not, there are things you have to answer to as a result of not doing it the right way.
And we're going to cut it off because we know you have to board your plane pretty soon here. And so we're going to let Fox ask the last question. I mean, if I pop in here, I might come up with something while he's talking, but we're going to let Fox ask the last question, and we'll go wrap it up.
Hello, Chief.
Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm all right today. I got a statement and a question for you. In the jobs that we do, right? It's a lifestyle. Being a police officer is a lifestyle. In the job that I do, it's a lifestyle. So what I've done something in my life before that I didn't like, and it affected the work that I do now. It's the reason why I go so hard in what I do now, because it was that terrible of a thing. Have you ever done something in your life that was so terrible while you was in that uniform that it affected the work that you do now? I won't ask you to identify what it is that it was that you might have done terrible, but why is it that you show up the way you show up in your uniform the way you do today?
So I think I hit on that a little bit with my initial answer a little while ago. And when I used to go to different calls for service, I would handle that call for service, and sometimes you'd be in it and you would go and you would leave, but you would feel like you left something there, like you left something on the table, meaning didn't complete or answer all the questions that you feel the people might have needed from you. So for me, it was as I developed myself in this career, I recognized that sometimes not completing an answer, not completing a service when I went to a call was leaving something on the table, meaning that there were people there who were still looking for answers that I didn't give or I couldn't provide. And I didn't take the time as a young officer to go back. And what I've learned over the years is that spending a little bit extra time on the call can not just change that community member's feeling towards me, but you might actually be able to solve a greater problem, whatever was happening there in that environment. And I'll give you an example. When I was very young, I would stop a car with someone who didn't have insurance, or they didn't have their kids in a car seat, and I would issue a ticket and I wouldn't let them drive away, or I would do certain things. Once I got a little bit older, I understand that I had discretion in some of my approaches with those, and I would allow for someone to come take that car for them and get it home, because that person that I stopped maybe didn't have a license, but they had a family, they had a need, they had the car itself. They still may get issued a citation. However, I wouldn't take their car from them knowing that that might be their only means for travel. That is something that as I got older and I learned that I had the discretion to do those things, still holding people accountable, but still giving them an option to have a resource that would help them navigate their day-to-day life. So, and it's not just one thing, it's a generation of things for me in this profession, and talking with people and understanding and recognizing some people's feeling towards law enforcement, and how can I change that? How can I become the change agent for these people that I understand that I have an impact on? And that to me is what was important. It's recognizing that I have an impact on every single person that I touch. And I choose as a police officer for that to be a positive impact. I want to be in a position where I know that not just the kids in my community, but anybody in the community will come and say, Bobby, what happened here? And can I answer with a full heart and full mind that says I did what I was supposed to do when I did it the right way? That's my choice as a police officer, and that's what I wanted to do and chose to do for the people that I served in Sacramento County and in Elk Grove.
And I think what's so important about your responses, this is how you show up, right? That's how you showed up to our office. If anybody's ever interested, they can go on our social media and they can see you playing one of the games. I don't remember what game you were playing, but it had to do with culture or something, and we was asking you about hot combs and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
you show up authentically all the time, and that's what I appreciate about you. But what I thought Fox was going to ask is, Fox being a formerly incarcerated person, the first time that he encountered you all, that was I don't want to speak for you. What was it like for you coming home, and then and I'm gonna ask Fox, and I want you to listen to what he's saying, and then I want you to respond. What was it like for you coming home and then coming into contact, oh Lord, with the chief and JJ, which is one of the sergeants at Elk Grove Police Department?
Well, the first time I met them I seen them
Okay.
at a BBSN event as I was learning the ropes of that. But the first time I encountered and actually had a real conversation with them, brief conversation, was at one of our
I think it was Family Fun Day.
Fun Day. And I was very distrustful. I thought it was a publicity stunt. I thought both of them was there for a publicity stunt. And but I did watch them. I don't know why I watched them, but I just watched them. And I thought here was an opportunity for my own personal growth.
Right.
But in order for my own personal growth, I needed some buy-in theory. So as the day went on and I was listening to their personal conversation, I didn't hear the snide remarks I grew up hearing. I was judging them based off what I used to hear officers doing in the past. And they wasn't cracking jokes about people. They wasn't cracking jokes about the families that was sitting around the park. They wasn't cracking jokes and saying, look at this and that. They was actually engaging with people and saying hello, and they was serving them food. They was cooking the food. And
it was good too.
And it was good. So I took the opportunity to just shake their hand and just talk and introduce ourselves and, see what it would be. And I was expecting I gave them every excuse to be who I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So I gave them the chance to give me the water handshake so I could say I knew it. I gave them a chance to look at the ground so I could say I knew it. I gave them a chance to, just brush off the conversation so I could say I knew it, but I couldn't find that in him. And although apprehensive, I still had to judge them as men and say, some people out here, they out here to actually do their job. But more importantly, I have been able to witness their actions over time since I've been out here. And they continue to show up with the same uniform, the same attitude inside of their uniform. And I couldn't see nothing wrong with that, and as I got to understanding things in every organization, there are chiefs, there are people, and there are foot soldiers. And just because some of the foot soldiers do something wrong doesn't mean that they can't be held accountable from their higher ups. And if you have a righteous higher up, then there will be some correction going down the pipeline. But you have to. I had to see that. So my judgment of him began to say, that's a righteous dude for a righteous position. You know what I mean? To be able to lead his men into areas that would be better for myself personally and for the rest of the community. It ain't easy being on parole, shaking no man's hand. That ain't easy. Try to throw a cuff right back on your hand, or call somebody else over to cuff, or to cuff that hand. You know what I mean? That's like a no-no. That's a taboo. You're not gonna find too many dudes out here on parole that want to shake an officer's hand, nor do you find too many officers that's willing to give somebody on parole a chance. That's a taboo on both sides of the field. It's a breach of some type of unknown contract that neither one of us have ever seen, but we both know it though for sure. Like, he's a what?
Right.
Oh, nope.
So Chief, when you hear that, what is your response to that?
So first, I would say that the interaction that we had, our very first interaction, for me and Jason both, we were both the same. We had the same feeling. We were like, okay, this is a little bit different, right? Because I know, just like you said, there's an unwritten contract. We know, like, this is not supposed to go the way that it went. However, I say this, and I heard this today, actually, if you're above service, then you're beyond leadership.
Ooh.
And my job is to serve everyone, including those people who have paid, have done the time or paid their punishment to society. what good does it do me to come out and be mean to someone who is already out, who's already trying to give back, who's already working for you, Miss Lorraine, in a space to make things better for the kids? Specifically, what you're doing is you are making sure that other kids don't end up in a position that you were in. And that to me is power. That is powerful because you're willing to look at yourself, much like I had to look at my young Bobby officer self and say, how can I be better as I've gotten older? And while I haven't had the experiences that you have had, I respect you and that you're coming out, making a difference or trying to be the best that you can be and make a difference. And that's all we can ask for from anybody in society. It is not my job to tear somebody down who is trying to be the best they can be. We all are accountable. And one of the things that I think that you said is that you acknowledge where you were. I acknowledge where I was. However, neither one of us can say that we came from places that we meant to be where we are. We ended up where we were, and we've all come out men on the back end of it, able to communicate with each other, able to share with each other in those times, in those moments. And when we take pictures together, when we are at our barbecue together, and we're at the BYLP together, and we're giving out turkeys together, we're not doing that separately. We're doing it together because we want our kids to be better. We want our kids to have better opportunities. We want our kids to not maybe make some of the same mistakes that we did as young people with judgment and maybe the youth in us and the inability to say, I'm not better than him. I want to be a partner with him. Instead of picking at or going at each other, I want them all to be together in how they rise up and grow up in our community. And I think that that's what we saw, or what I saw and JJ saw with you, that you were honestly there. And we knew, I could feel like you were nervous. You had that fear inside you. And I don't want that for you. I want you to understand that if you're always doing what you're doing today in this life, I'm going to be there and support you. I'm going to ensure that you're not somebody that is going to have a problem, because you can call me and say, hey, Mr. Bobby, this is what happened. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And to me, there's power in that relationship. There's power in that moment, because at any given time, you might need help from me, and I might be in need of help from you. And if I don't disrespect you, there's a 99% chance you're going to stand next to me and help me. And that's what we should all do for each other.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
Thanks,
Well, Chief, we don't want to hold you. We know that you have to get on your plane, and I know we have to get down the freeway too. But I want to thank you for spending some time. I know, ideally you would have been here if you could have been here. But I just want to thank you for taking the time out and really being as transparent and open as you are, as you always are, especially with me. Do you have any last words that you want to just impart to the people besides inviting them Saturday to our Love Thy Neighbor second annual turkey giveaway? Go check out our video on the socials, right? Because Chief was cutting up. But do you have anything else you want to tell the people?
You know what I will say to everybody and anybody who is listening, that you have to love yourself first. You have to not just be sure that you are confident and comfortable in who you are in this community and in this world. But once you've been able to identify that, love your neighbor. Ensure that anybody who may or may not need help has someone they can go to, that they can get that help from in you. But make sure that you love yourself. Ensure that you are at your healthiest and safest place. Because if you do that, you will find great success and great happiness no matter where you go in life. And the other thing I would say is never give up. Never give up hope. Never give up your belief in opportunities. And always, always, always remain close to those people that you love. Never give up your families. Never give up on those people who are willing to spend some time with you. And that is whatever that looks like for you as individuals, but also never stop challenging systems. Never stop saying enough, because enough is not enough. Mediocrity is not okay. We must be the best that we can be. And to do that, we have to challenge systems. And I will tell you, law enforcement has only gotten better because systems have been challenged. People have been challenged. We are forced to look in the mirror now and say, are we doing it right? And that is that is in large part come because somebody said, I don't think that was done the right way. And therefore, we had to look at it and make sure that we did it the right way for everybody in our community. So that's what I would say. And get out there and volunteer in your communities. Let people know you're there. Be proud of who you are. And remember to love one another.
And Chief, before you go, tell them how much you love me.
Oh, baby, you know I love you. Come on.
Come on, baby.
I'm going to make you mad. So.
One more thing real quickly. Tell us something that you're thankful for. And I'm going to come around to everybody. So be thinking. Tell us, because we're going into the Thanksgiving season. We will not have a podcast next week because we're going to give y'all some time to spend with your families. But I need to know, tell me something that you're thankful for. We're going to start with Chief.
You know what I'm thankful for is not just this relationship that I built with you, but I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my kids. I have 3 healthy boys who are successful in what they do as young men. They're in college, and one is getting ready to start working at SMUD. But I'm thankful for the ability to be in a position where I can help those people in need. Because everything that I do to help other people in need fill my soul. And I am more thankful than I can ever truly express to be in a position that I am to help people. So that's what I'm thankful for. And for you, Miss Lorraine.
Thank you. Isaiah, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for everything that BYLP has done for me so far. I feel very thankful to be able to come into a positive work environment and feel welcomed and feel like, the work that I do here, it matters. And I also feel very thankful to be able to help out in the communities, be able to see, the young kids that we're working with, be able to grow up and, see the progress that we're making with them, understanding that, our positive influences influencing off of them onto the other kids as well, even when we're not there.
That's beautiful. Anaya, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my community and my support system that I have here in DC and back at home.
Beautiful. Melissa?
I'm thankful for, like Anaya said, my community that I've been able to build at Berkeley around me. And I'm also thankful for my progress. I've made a lot of progress from the first day that I got here till now. I'm very thankful for that.
Beautiful. Adrian, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family, specifically my mom, putting me in the position I am now and knowing that I always have her support no matter what I do. And community as well.
And community. Fox?
I'm thankful for a lot. I always say I prayed to be here. I pray hard to be here. This is a dream come true for me. This is a life come true for me. This is proof of miracle work, and I'm thankful for all the bad things and the good things and the people I met along the way. Every situation that had an intricate part of shaping my life into what it became. There was a lot of days that I was angry, I was upset, I didn't understand, I questioned, I kicked back, and to see this, I'm not finished yet. I'm not at my finishing product, but I'm here at a stage of my life.
I thought you were saying somebody was trying to cut you off. I'm like, you're not finished yet. What happened?
No, I mean,
okay.
Life is not finished yet.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's God don't open one door without opening another. He don't close one door without closing another. You know what I mean? And they say his work is very intentional. And I pray to be here to be able to help people, to be able to want to be here and do things and serve my community and make amends. You know what I mean? Just to sit amongst healthy people, man. And I'm thankful for these days. I'm thankful for y'all. I'm thankful for BYLP. I'm thankful for community. I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for, man, that was some good food we ate before we got.
Be thankful for food. Okay.
You know, we about to go on a professional development trip right after this show.
Yeah. I'm thankful for the ability to provide opportunities. I don't know how many people look at that, right? And they don't understand the weight that comes with that. But I'm super proud of the fact that I can help to change something. If not everything, I can do something. I'm thankful for my family, particularly my mom and my sister, who have kind of come through and started trying to insulate me better. I'm thankful for love. And so I just think we should just keep going. We got to keep it going. So with that, did you have something else to say? Because I love the chief too. So I got to be thankful for the chief, because without him, we wouldn't have 100 turkeys that we about to give away on Saturday. You have something? Okay, we got a hand up. Hold on, Chief. 1 second, because he interrupted our conversation. What you want, boy?
Okay.
I'll just one last thing. Also, I'm thankful for my mom. She's probably watching the show right now.
Hey,
Love
Mom.
you. Okay.
Okay. So, Chief, we want you to have a safe flight home, and yes, you do owe me, and I'm going to pull you into the studio when you get back or after Thanksgiving. Okay.
That sounds good to me. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. That's all right. You just owe me, and I love having you owe me something because when I need something, I'm coming to get you.
Come get me. My door is wide open.
Oh, Tevin said he knows how you can make it up to us. He said that you can take the team to lunch on Saturday.
Oh, perfect. Sounds
You know,
like a
because
plan.
I mean, because you know, we gonna run in pockets. That's all.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. No worries. I got you.
He said McDonald's have the 5 for $5. No, I'm playing. Let me get out of here. We're gonna hit y'all with the peace sign. We'll see y'all next time right here on Black versus the Board of Education. Peace out.